Okay, I stopped my recording briefly to turn off my annoying email, which keeps popping up in the lower right-hand corner. All right, so we're going to start with our first page here, and we're going to create a big image. The location of my project is in Vancouver, so I've got some Vancouver imagery here that I'm going to put in onto my front page, along with a title of the project, and then our my name or the studio that this is coming from would go here. But we'll start by making sure that we are on our page one and not on our A master sheet. So I want to make sure that A1, I'm double clicking on uh, my page one here. And you'll notice if I look down here, I also have one selected here. So I know that I'm on my first page. I'm going to collapse this for the moment. And we're going to insert a picture into our first page here. And the way we insert a picture is by using the rectangle frame tool. Not to be confused with the rectangle tool. The rectangle frame tool is right above the rectangle tool, and it looks like a rectangle with a big X running through the middle of it. The rectangle tool is just if we want to draw a rectangle, like a border around our image. But the rectangle frame tool is a frame in which we are going to place an image. So I created a rectangle there, a rectangle frame, and the image that I put in here will not exceed the limits of this frame. So I'm going to, I have saved a number of images here, and I'm gonna, I've got beach image, rocky beach image. So I'm going to choose this rocky beach image, and I'm going to put that in my frame. There's a couple ways to do it. The first way is to go to File, Place, and my images will pop up that are available to me, and I'll just choose Rocky Beach, and boom, it has inserted my Rocky Beach image into my frame. Now, if I select my frame and move it around, my Rocky Beach image moves too because it's inside that frame. But what I want to do is I want to expand that image so that it fills my frame. And the way I do that is I right click on the image, I'm right clicking, and then I go to fitting, and there are a number of different options here for me. But what I'm going to choose is the top one, fill frame proportionally. If I choose the second one, fit content proportionally, it fits the content into the frame. And you'll notice that the frame, the blue line around the perimeter here, is larger than the content, than the actual image. If I right click, choose fitting, and I click fill frame proportionally, now what it does is it takes that image and enlarges it so that it fills this frame. If I double click on this image, you'll notice that there is a brown rectangle that appears on my screen here. And that brown rectangle indicates the limits of the image. So the image actually extends beyond the blue frame. The image goes all the way over here. And what I can do is I can move that brown frame around in case the scene is not showing what I want it to show. So I can adjust the image within the frame. I can also, expand the frame. Make it a little bigger. And again, I will just change the fitting again, fit, and then fill frame proportionally. Get it just the way I want it. Okay. So now I want to get some text on here. I'm going to put Robert's residence and vacation bedroom rendering or whatever remodeling or whatever we're going to do here. So I'll start with getting some text here, and I'll go to the type tool, and I think I'm going to put it down here. So I've got a big text box, and again I'm going to choose, and there's a whole pile of fonts for you here, but I'm going to choose Century Gothic. Just, I don't know why, because I like it. So if I can find it here, Century Gothic regular, and I'm going to increase the font maybe to 30 point, I don't know, and then we'll call it Robert's residence. Now I can't really see it very well. I'll move it here because it's dark. So what I want to do is I want to change this, and I'm double clicking in here and I'm highlighting the text. I'm going to make that text a little bigger. Maybe 40 point. Now the text is going beyond the frame, so I have to increase the size of the frame. And maybe what I'll do is, instead of regular, I'll make this bold. No, I don't like it bold. But I can do it. I can make it italic or regular. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it regular. And with my selection tool, oh, you know what? I also want to change the color of the text. So I'm going to highlight it, and then up here, I'm going to change it to white. So now, when I move it down here, make that text box a little smaller. That looks good. I'm shifting and moving it using my arrow keys just to get it exactly where I want it. Good. And then what else? I'll do another, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy this text box. I'll right click on it and copy, and then right click and paste. So now I have two of them. I'll just kind of align them. And on this one, I'm just going to change it to, I don't know, vacation bedroom remodeling. And obviously the font is too big, so I'm selecting all of my text, and I'll bring that font down. Oh, that's too small. There we go. And you know what? I think I'm going to also change the text, the font, and I'm going to change it to Times New Roman, italic, I think. Yeah, I like that. Now what I can do is I can adjust the size of this text so that, and I'm zooming in here just to get a better view, so that it kind of aligns with Robert's residence down here. So I'm selecting the upper right hand corner, and I'm holding Shift and Control at the same time. I'm holding down Shift and Control, and then I'm left mouse clicking and holding, and I'm moving the font until it kind of aligns with the end of the E in residence. Now, that vacation bedroom remodeling lines up with residents, and that looks pretty good, I think. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to move this text up. Maybe to here. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay. A cool thing that you can do in InDesign is you can look at your page as if it is a slide. And I do that by hitting Shift W. And if I hit Shift W, my whole screen um, lights up with just the image. And I've got my vacation bedroom remodeling and Robert's residence. I think that looks good. And then I'll just hit Escape to go back to my regular working screen. Now, what I want to do here, though, is I want to change my placeholder text. Right now, it's placeholder text, and I can't really change it. When I double click on it, nothing is happening. So what I do is hold Shift and Control, hold them both down, and then double click on placeholder text. And now I can make changes to that text box. So I'll just put in, my studio, or whatever your name would be there, design by, and maybe I'll change this to Times New Roman, italic, and maybe my studio is Century Gothic bold. I don't know. Whatever suits you. So now I've made changes to my placeholder text on my first page. If I go back to my pages flyout, you'll notice that my placeholder here, or my thumbnail here, has my imagery on it. And if I go to page 2, you'll notice that I have placeholder text back here and an empty page ready for me to put on whatever I need to put on. If I go back to my first page, I have my my signature here and the title uh, for my presentation that I'm going to give to my client. Okay,